What is up? I haven't done that in so long. I miss my what's up part. Pretty sure we're lives.
I don't know.
My chat's up on the OBS end.
Yeah, it says we're live.
Curly kills. I can't be fuck sharing that link again. So we're just gonna get right into it. They come. They don't. They don't. And we're doing tier list type. Our first tier list together. I have done this multiple times before though on the good old Twitches, if you remember. It's the first one on YouTube's first one of Grim.
Hey, it's me.
Like he has done it with me before on the chat. It was mostly just me and him most of the times. It was the first one talking properly and everything like that. We are doing the 2022 returns because there's a lot of them. Good old Triple H got in charge and wanted all his buddies back, basically. His NXT boys back, so a little bit. Some of them here ain't from Triple H too. But yeah, Grim, because of the good old video stuff, Grim's kind of taking lead here. He's gonna pick and choose who we do first, second, blah blah blah. Don't know if one's doing it in order. Switch it up. But Grim's taking a little bit of a lead here because I can't share the screen.
I get to make all the decisions now. Watch.
Yep.
He'll be like, I think that person should go there. And I'm like, nah, fuck you. You can't do shit about it. I'm putting them there.
But let's just get started. No dilly bagging about. Like, sub, all the good stuff. I'll tell you again later. Where we going, good sir?
Oh, look, let's start from the end, eh? We're talking about Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Really recent one. So I should explain how we're doing this tier list too. We're doing how the return was, then how it's going since then. So some of them are really, really new, like Charlotte Flair. So it's a bit hard to do what she's doing since the return, but we can kind of guess what's going to happen since the return anyway. That's how we're going to do it. It's not just the return itself; it's what they've done since the return as well. We thought that's pretty fair. But I'll explain that part. But Charlotte Flair came back on the last SmackDown, took the title. It's not much to it, is there?
No, not really. It looks like she's going to be a face, maybe even a baby face. It's hard to say.
Yeah, face turn, yeah. It's a little bit hard to rank because she's just getting back on the last of 2022, but we kind of guess that she's just going to be normal Charlotte Flair, going to hold the belt probably to WrestleMania, whatnot. You can kind of guess what this return's going to be. Honestly, don't know where to rank it. The return itself, I felt like was needed. Ronda Rousey wasn't doing a good job. There was no one on the roster that was going to take that belt and look good doing it in a way. Because they were gonna, whoever, if it wasn't Charlotte Flair, somebody was gonna get the belt in shenanigan ways. I guess B.
Yeah, it's kind of where I was thinking. Put her in the B spot, and that's what I'll do. I'll start from the bottom. Some of these I'm not going to know the names of, so you'll have to tell me. So if I start from the bottom and go up to where Mr. Rhodes is, that'll work.
So next one is what's his name? I'm thinking of his indie name, Jonah.
Is it Bronson Reed?
That's it, Bronson Reed. I got it. All I can think of is Jonah, which is his indie name. I couldn't think of his fucking WWE.
Should have written it down.
Yeah. I didn't do no research for this tier list at all. Came back very recently as well. Hasn't really done much. Came back in the second last Raw? Third last Raw of 2022.
Been on more than once?
No, he's only been on once, and they've done a promo package for him.
Which was weird because they should have done why a promo package once he's back?
Yeah. Look, Triple H loves his surprises, and I think he thinks a lot of what people used to watch NXT. That did, but didn't at the same time, which I think a lot of these returns are lacking. Triple H thinking people watch NXT, which we'll get through some of them. But he came out, helped Miz win his money back in that ladder match with Dexter.
Yep.
The Pop wasn't the best until he did his splash. He kind of was pretty silent for him. No one really cared. It's not his fault though. I think, as I said, Triple H thinks a lot of people knew who these people were from NXT when they really don't. It's a little bit of
Yeah.
Triple H's fault. Like, I agree, this one shouldn't have been a surprise return. It should have been a build up with the promo packages.
Yeah. I think out of that storyline, he's still one of the better things, even though he's only done that one thing. And the way he came across, because I obviously didn't know who he was, and the way he came across in that brief interaction with the match, and then afterwards with the Miz, like, give him my money. I thought that was quite good.
He did come off very intimidating for sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking sat next to Charlotte Flair, to be honest, but
yeah, I think B as well. Like, it was a decent return, but we don't know what he's going to do next, really.
Yeah, and these two specifically will be very, tentative, because a lot of the others have been around for at least a couple of months.
Yeah.
I think these are the two shortest.
Yeah, next one is Tegan Knox, which was a little bit longer, but was at the end as well. But less we've seen a lot more of her in the ring and what they're going to do with her. So it's going to be easier, I feel. Which is next is Tegan Knox.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who she was before she returned.
No, just the shiniest wizard.
You got the shiniest wizard, yeah. So she was from NXT too, as I said. A lot of these guys from NXT that Triple H loved, and they got fired from Vince because he didn't know what to do with them. So he wanted his boys and girls back that he trained. I understand why Vince fired her, to be honest. She has been really seriously injured 3 times since she's been around. It's always been really serious ones if they weren't quite sure she's going to come back. There was knee surgery every time. I can't remember what kind of injury it was, but every time it was, is she going to come back? She's going to come back. She's going to get healthy. So I understand where Vince was coming from with this release, because she could never stay healthy. How are you going to push somebody if they can't stay healthy? It's not her fault. She's got these problems, but I kind of get where Vince is coming from with this one. She's a really good wrestler and stuff. I did know I didn't know her. The return wasn't too bad. She returned and helped Liv Morgan, I think, with Ronda Rousey and Shayna, if I remember correctly. I didn't do no research for this. Right. That's really bad. Yeah, not too bad of a return. She got a decent pop. People actually remember who she was. She came out looking really good. The return itself has turned into her and Liv being a tag team. I don't mind that. I feel a bit sorry for Liv that she's gone down to where she's just been a throw together team again, though. That's nothing against Tegan Knox, but she went from a world champion contender to being in this. I think this is like a second or third tag team, just throwing together tag team. But they've looked good in good matches. They had a tag team championship match, which she got a championship match really early, so I think that means something for her in the ranking as well for what we're about to do here, because she's had a championship match. She looked good in that match. I thought she was actually going to win it with Liv, because how the women's tag champions are. They can be a lot of hot potatoes. So I thought they might going to win it, but they didn't. Another one I'm not sure about, because it's been decent, but I just don't really care for her. She's done nothing exciting to get me pumped for the return. Maybe above Charlotte and B. I think that's fair for her. I don't think she's good enough for A.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Good old Sarah Logan. I cannot remember her new fucking ring name. Something weird. Something Viking name. Valhalla. Yeah. Valhalla.
Which is where warriors go in the afterlife, so it's kind of weird. They're like, let's pick a Viking name and just slap it on her. It'll be right.
So she first came back in promo packages with the Viking Raiders. Everyone knew it was her, but she didn't quite show her face, but you can tell it was her by her voice and shit. And she officially came back. And she's more of a manager role. She came out and helped attack Vega's team, which I can't remember the name. I'm really bad tonight. I can't remember Vega's
Arturo Phantasma.
Phantasma. That's one of
Yeah.
the names of them, but I can't remember the proper team. But yeah, came back, attacked them. Her first return, she got really bad online for copying an indie star with the look. Don't remember that. But she came back and she looks like an indie star. So she got a bit of flack for that, but she's kept the look. Not a bad return, but she's just a manager. She has done really nothing in ring yet. But you all know she can
Yeah,
fight.
I didn't mind those bits where they had the 6-man tag and the women came into the ring one after the other. That was a good sequence, I think.
Yeah.
Like very quick, sort of, bam, one woman, then the next woman, then the next woman. That's really all I really seen of her that I can remember. So
Yeah, in ring she hasn't done much. She's more of a manager, which I don't mind.
yeah,
She's done very good as a manager. She doesn't really speak that much enough, but she's got the nice look. She does make, I feel, Viking ratings look way more better and intimidating.
yeah.
But I don't know. The return's not bad. She's just a manager, really. And she's done a good job as a manager.
C
I
or
like
B?
B. All these are
They're all
B,
gonna
but
they're all gonna be in the B. They're not all gonna be in the B. I can guarantee you that.
no, but right now it feels like that. So what's next? I can't see.
That's Ronda.
Ronda. This is one of the longest returns that's been around. She could return Royal Rumble. We've got a lot to impact with Ronda. Return at Royal Rumble came out 26, 27 area. Cleaned house, won. They tried to make her face. She did not want to be face. You could tell. Her promo's been disgusting. Like her match with Charlotte in WrestleMania was I didn't like it. The I Quit match wasn't bad. I didn't mind Charlotte and Ronda doing the I Quit match.
Yeah, that was okay, and then it took a very steep decline from there. I think.
Much as Charlotte Flair annoys me and all that, she gets this big push. I feel like Charlotte Flair shouldn't have said I quit in that match. Like it doesn't lower her nothing. Just she's too good to say I quit. She's like a John Cena of the women's division in my eyes. And for
Yeah.
her to say I quit, I felt was wrong just to push Ronda Rousey because she didn't deserve it. Yeah, then she got a championship. She kept it until Money in the Bank. Liv cashed in on her. But that awkward feud of Liv, it was really awkward. They booked that terribly. They did that weird SummerSlam match where they did the pin, but Liv tapped out first, and the ref didn't see it. It made Liv look weak in the first match, which I hated. Then they did the Extreme Rules match. Ronda won it back. Had a very second title run. It was terrible. Charlotte took it.
Yeah. I didn't hate her match with Raquel. As I think I said
Yeah.
yesterday, but
And the whole
yeah,
Shotzi stuff was terrible.
oh god, and yeah, those promos like it almost make me want to switch off and just stop watching because it's just you're like, oh no, like
It's hard to watch somebody when it feels like they don't want to be there.
yeah,
That's what it feels like with Ronda, that she's there for the cash grab, whatever. Like, she doesn't want to be there. And it has to be D, doesn't it? It has to be the worst.
we're gonna give her the no, I'm not gonna say that.
Yes. Usually it's Fs, but this tier list maker's very generous. Yeah, we didn't make this tier list, of course. I don't know who did. Got some, I think it says it somewhere. Yeah. Thank you to whoever made it. Yeah, Ronda and D, I feel she hasn't earned It's anything really. It's just been a
Yeah.
really bad run. I hope she leaves next year. To be honest, well, this year, so it's 2023. Don't. Is that Medium next?
Medium, yeah.
Um, hasn't been a bad return. I don't mind this.
Yeah.
But,
She's another one who hasn't done a great
crazy
deal. Like they
much.
brought her in for the OC to sort of like balance that out. And that felt good, but also by the time she'd gotten in, the feud between the OC and the Judgment Day was like pretty long going anyway. And of course, it's hard to say where that'll go now with AJ being out for a bit. So I feel like maybe they're going to throw her into situations where maybe she shouldn't be, like with the tag match with Becky Lynch the other day. That was weird.
She didn't go too bad in War Games. I feel she added something to that match.
Yeah.
I'll give her that.
So
came in as muscle basically take on Ronda Rousey, and I don't think they have had one-on-one match anyway, which was really weird.
Yeah,
I don't remember them like she got brought in to take out Ronda Rousey and everything. I don't even think they had the match in the first still to this day, which I found really weird as well.
Yeah, probably just as well for me, him at least. I can't see that having been a good match. I mean, maybe it would have been, but the way Ronda's been,
I say
yeah,
Ronda. I say Ronda. I meant fucking Rhea Ripley.
Sorry. Oh, Rhea Ripley. Yeah. Oh no, that.
I don't think that match ever happened because she meant to get bringing into Judgment Day to take out Ronda Ripley. I don't think that match even happened.
No, I guess that'll be down the pipeline because they really haven't moved that storyline along. I guess because Carl Anderson was over in
Carl Anderson. Well, they both went over there together, but yeah, he had the match.
Yeah. So they really couldn't progress that storyline. So they did the whole, the Dominic, trying to build that character a bit, Dominic Mysterio.
That was hilarious. We didn't need to talk about that. We forgot to talk about that. That was fucking hilarious.
The prison changed him, man. They've changed him.
Everyone's like, "This is Michael Scott all over." I'm like it. And I've got to bring up too, the start of Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. They did a shout out to Scary Movie 3.
Oh yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Which is really cool. But anyway,
where are we putting me?
What's her name now? Michin or something?
Michin, yeah, which means crazy in Korean.
Has to be B tier. She hasn't done much.
Yeah.
She's had some good matches and stuff. She's shown that she can fight, which she can, but not too crazy.
I'm gonna put her there for now.
Yeah. Take Knox to pull a little bit better, but yeah. Who's next?
Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Scarlett. Yeah, I can't remember her last name though. Came back on SmackDown sometime. I can't remember the dates or nothing. It was near Clash of the Castle because Drew was number one contender, so it was around Clash of the Castle time. Because Drew is the only time Drew's got a championship match. It's a really nice return. I love the return. Him just smashing Drew and going TikTok to Roman Reigns and stuff. Really like the return, so I think they'll bump it up for me. But as a whole, his return has been very lackluster.
Yeah, look, his best promo work, and I thought it was great, was that bit with Ray, which was the most recent bit where he sort of sat there and he told him that story, and I'm like, yeah, like that's it, like that's perfect. Like there wasn't that TikTok shit. It wasn't like in a dark room, like all the theatrics. He was just sitting there menacingly telling him a story about a horse and like relating it to Ray. And I thought the whole atmosphere of that clip was probably the best work he's done since he's been back. So
In ring, even it's been a bit lackluster for me. Like the whole Drew stuff, I didn't like. The steel cage
yeah,
or the strap did not click with me at all.
yeah. And then they
And
threw oh god, I can't even think of his name now. Oh,
I don't even think who you're talking about either.
yeah, he was with Happy Corbin,
Oh, yeah, Madcap Moss.
Madcap. Yeah, and I'm like, nah, this isn't doing anything for either of those
Yeah,
men.
it's
And I know in some ways they were trying to sell Emma through that, and I don't really think it did much for her either.
those rumors. It was meant to be Scarlett's debut. It was meant to be a mixed match, tag team match at a pay per view, but it got scrapped.
Yeah,
Which we'll get to Emma soon, but I just feel sorry for her.
yeah. So
I'm honestly thinking C, just because I know how good they are. Like
yeah,
I watched them in NXT and they were fucking amazing. And again, they have not been used right the main roster.
yeah. I don't know if they're worse than the ones we've got in B though.
I'm probably more thinking of myself because I know how good they are.
Yeah. Like
It's been very lackluster for me.
I mean, a lot of the people in B haven't had many matches, or even promo stuff. And just on that one promo with Ray, I think he's promoed better than anyone in that row at all. Just off that one promo.
Yeah, chat them up there, B then.
Okay.
I'll let you do
Let me do it.
it.
I
I meant
might
like, yeah,
pop these two
you know what I
around.
meant.
I have no connection
Like
to
super.
Tegan Knox. I guess that's another thing, and I haven't really seen her do much, so I'm sort of underwhelmed at this point.
It's fair.
I mean, the Shiniest Wizard sounds like a cool move. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just the need of the
yeah,
face.
but like it's a cool name. It's got the word wizard in it, so
It is.
right.
So Johnny wrestling.
God.
Did you know Johnny from NXT?
Nah.
Because he got a lot of he got a lot of 5-star matches, some of the best matches in NXT history.
I don't even know when NXT started, so because it
2015
certainly wasn't a thing when I was still watching, which is a long time ago. But
no. So around 2017 to 2019, he was just smashing NXT. Had some of the best matches I've ever fucking seen. So for people, if most people know who he is from that era of NXT was the golden era, they like to call it.
yeah,
So to see him come back the way he has being very lackluster for me. I don't know if you could probably tell yourself he's not a comedy star.
no. And this stuff with the Miz and Dexter Lumis, and I'm like, it felt so dragged out. Like they're like, we've got no idea what to do with you, so like we're gonna drag this stuff out with the Miz, and you're like, for a long time there, it didn't feel like he was a wrestler. He's just someone they have out the back that's goofing off, and it's like,
which I
that's
don't
not
like
a good.
because he's the best wrestler, one of the best wrestlers I've got on the main roster right now, and I'm not using him to his potential. Tell you some matches to watch of him because you'll see how good he really is. His return itself at break comes back from ad break. There he is in Canada. The pop that they were hoping for did not happen.
Yeah.
He comes out, says, "I'm back. I want to prove to me daughter or kid, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, prove them though that I'm a good fucking. Want to show you that you don't give up, go for your dreams, and blah blah blah." Didn't mind his stuff with Theory though. His first promo with Theory is pretty decent. They go back to NXT days where a tag team and stuff. And they did a good way of explaining that. Don't know if you kind of got the nice explaining when you were seeing that part of the feud. I feel they did a decent thing of explaining who they were together and stuff. So I think that starter there was really good. Just it turned into Dexter's lackey trying to help him and being goofy just ruined it for me.
Yeah,
Again, it's probably just a B because he's had some really good matches and everything as well.
yeah, yeah. I could see that in the top at the end.
Um, Probably above Tegan because he's had some decent matches.
Yeah,
Because when he first came in, he had a really good match with Theory, and he's had some other really good matches. He dropped it out to Omos too, which is really fucking weird.
yeah,
Don't know what they were thinking there.
yeah. Unnecessary, I guess, would be the word I'd use. Like, yes, you know, you want to build Omos as a monster. There's certain ways to do that. I mean, they bring in local talent most of the time, but to have them squish someone who's just come in, like,
Yeah, that's weird. But I'll definitely need to show you some Johnny Gargano matches.
no.
Next up is Hit Row, Hit Row, Hit Row, Hit Row. Better stop before I get these ones. I cannot remember. I can't remember how they returned. So that just shows you how good the return was. Oh, they just returned around at SmackDown, didn't they?
Think so.
Wasn't another just come out of nowhere? Or was here's a mystery opponent for you? I think it was something like
Yeah.
that. A bit like Johnny's. I think it was just out of nowhere. I think it was you're gonna face this team, and they came out. I think what happened on one of the SmackDowns.
Yeah.
Should have researched for this, didn't.
Yeah. We'll learn from this,
Um,
and next time we'll have a look and make sure we know what's what.
Yeah, for sure. The return hasn't been too bad. They've had some really good matches. They've had a tag team championship match. Look good in it. Other than that, you've got the whole big thing there with fucking Top Dollar, the poor guy. I think people are being too harsh on the guy. It happens. They've had some good matches though. The triple threat other than that botch was a really good match. That tag team championship match was a really good match. I'm interested to see where they go next. Looks like it may be a heel turn with how Top Dollar cracked the shits. I'm not 100% sure
Yeah.
though. They're going to go with that, with Ricochet, him pushing Ricochet saying, hey, shut up. That could be a whole, I've had enough. I don't know what they're going to do there. Hasn't been a bad return though. I feel it's been decent. People have been a bit harsh on this return. They've had some really good matches, and they've done some pretty funny stuff backstage when they were fighting with the models. When they first came back. I thought that was funny how they were partying too loud and doing stuff for street profit. I thought that was really fun. I think it's maybe our first A. Am I being too nice here?
I mean, that's not where I'd put them, but this is where
Nah.
you'll see that me and JJ have different values for wrestling. I don't agree with all of B, but you know, and I wanted to put Hit Row there. So you wanting to put them there, that should tell you everything you need to know. They don't interest me. I don't find them interesting at all.
That's fair.
But you know, man, like I'm happy for that. If you feel like that's where you want them.
We'll meet in the middle and go B then. Even though a lot of them are
Everyone's going to be in the B.
Meet in the middle and go B. It's just been lackluster returns, and Triple H has even said that himself. Some of these returns have not been that good. Long haul.
Yeah.
I think they're probably the best return. Like I get a lot of people don't like the whole. A lot of them are getting flack. I feel the whole return. That we'll meet in the middle, go B. A lot of them are. That's the sad thing about his returns. A lot of them are just
man.
They're done good, but need more. Emma, you poor girl.
Yeah.
She came back to be a jobber, right? Is that all Emma came back for?
Yeah, and then they slap her with Mad
That's
Cop,
what. That's
and
how.
he's barely on at all, and
That's how I feel. She came back, the nice return, facing Ronda. No one gave a fuck. The poor girl. I love Amy. She's an Aussie girl. I loved her back in the day. But she's done nothing but job to people.
Yeah.
Honestly, feel like Triple H just said, "Oh, we need a more female jobbers that can wrestle, so he come back." Yeah, I feel Emma's been treated.
Look, and I see maybe a lot of the women who've come back, come the Rumble, maybe they'll start building them back up again. Because the Rumble is a good way to showcase as many wrestlers as possible in a single match. So,
It'd be interesting to have a bit bigger roster of the Rumble.
yeah,
Usually they rely a lot on returns for the women's.
yeah, and those are exciting, but they come in and part of you, depending on who it is, part of you knows there's no way they will win. So that sort of takes me out of a bit.
The fun pop, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
The fun pop. That's all it's all they're there for. But Emma's a
Yeah.
C. It's not even her fault.
No, and there's a lot of
She's
that, I
just
think, in this.
oh yeah.
So
A lot of even the bees have not gotten the proper time to shine. Like Johnny Gargano has not been given the right time to shine. Mia Yim was just stuck with OC, didn't get really much to shine with the females.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so yes, she's a C because I felt like she's came back as a jobber. And then that one big match with Ronda, she hasn't wrestled much or she's just lost. But she's a good hand for that, sadly. She's been around so long. Like, been around since 2015. She's one that helped build the women's division in WWE because NXT was the first part of it all where Triple H was given the women's shine time. And the first big match was Emma versus Paige. Had a big match in NXT and proved that women can fight and shit. So she's got that value. Yeah. I feel sorry for her because I love her. Mr. Dexter Loomis, the creepy man. I can't say this. Can't say this on the good old YouTubes. He gives me vibes that I don't like. The look and everything. I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
But it works for him. He's got that thing. So he comes in, attacking the Miz and stuff. Yeah, like the debut I think was really good because they did him backstage doing the sneaky sneaks. You had to point him out and stuff, which I thought was really fun with the Triple H era. Is you watch the backstage interview stuff for a reason now too to see if there's something happening in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
They did that with Dexter's return. Then he returned. We all thought he was going after AJ, but it wasn't. It was Miz. He kept getting carried out. Like, it was a nice, like, you're not meant to be here. Take him out, blah, 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 which I thought was really cool. The return was really cool. It was just that drag of, he's been back for months, and all he's done is the Miz stuff.
Yep.
All he's done is they dragged this Miz thing on for so long.
And then they fed him Gable.
Yeah, that's all he's done. Like, I understand what Triple H trying to do is long-term storytelling, but you got to make it fun to watch. And they did not make it fun to watch.
It's all right when he was being goofy, like that bit where he sort of slid out from the bottom of the ring, like, and the face he was making. I'm like, oh man, that was funny. But there's only so long that can be the story you're telling.
And again, like, I feel like this feud wrecked Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
Is it a C as well? Or is it a B? He hasn't wrestled much either. He's just been this creepy guy.
Maybe there.
Yeah. And then again, it's not his fault. No, it's not really their fault. It's just how Triple H is booking him. Trying to make he's trying to make things work when it's not. Okay, this one could be an A in my eyes. This one we're going up maybe a little bit more. It's Damage Control.
Yeah. And look, and I agree with what Becky Lynch was saying. The worst part of Damage Control is Bayley. And part of that's just the mismanagement of her. I don't think she's in the right place at the moment. She's the weakest link out of those three. She can promo, but I don't think what she's doing right now is right for her.
Oh yeah, how they first started, I loved it.
Yeah,
Come in at SummerSlam, Banky Belair just beat Becky. Then you hear Bailey's fucking music, I'm like, hell yes. I was pumped. Then I hear the other two theme songs, I popped like crazy because I love both them. I knew them from NXT. They come in, just wreck house. Raw after SummerSlam, they come in, take out Becky Lynch properly, that kind of stuff. Looked really strong. And then the build, the Clash of the Castle, they beat the Lexa and all that, look really strong. They come tag team champions. It's they wrecked it by not letting Bailey win the championship Extreme Rules. Then you had this team leader looking weak. Pardon me.
Yeah, and I would agree with an A. I think what they've done with Bailey is the reason it's not an S. Because I think the other two have been quite strong. And they're showing in the War Games, particularly those two.
Yeah. Was really good too.
They're just really good wrestlers, and even the promo stuff, Io Sky doing the just the yelling, and
The Jep.
Dakota Kai is just the way her face,
Very cocky.
like her face does it all.
Here's how I roll out on my box now.
So yeah, I think probably an A. I'll put it there for now, and we'll wait for JJ to get back and tell me I'm wrong. But he knows I'm right. He knows deep down in his heart that I'm onto it.
Sorry guys, family stuff. We did say in the first test stream, me and Grim will have these problems. But yes, I feel the first half of their togetherness overshadows the last part.
Yeah.
With them, their first debut and taking out
Becky.
Becky.
The way they came back, that was huge.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of been downhill from there.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
From War Games onwards, I think it's just going worse and worse.
Yeah.
I'd love for Becky Lynch to get in Io Sky and Dakota Kai's ears a little bit, and they grieve Becky and turn on Bailey. And just be a tag team by themselves, because Dakota Kai has promoed a few times and sounded pretty decent. She could promo for Io Sky, I feel.
Yeah.
Let Bailey be a singles competitor. It's sad, but it feels right. Becky's like, you always need someone around you to kind of like, you're the middleman. You've always been a middle person. You did it with Sasha, and now we're doing it with these guys. You're not leader. You just need them to be relevant. That's kind of how it feels.
Hard to argue.
And let's be going up to an A, though. Let's be going up to an A.
Yeah.
Because the first half of them being together is better than the last half. Who's next? I cannot see. All right. Candice LeRae. I have to quickly zoom it up on the video pad. Came back on a random Raw. Won. Yeah. Hasn't been much, has it?
Yeah. I haven't got an opinion, really.
She's a really good wrestler, even from the indie. She's an indie wrestler, fighting guys, taking really good shots at the guy stuff. She's a really good wrestler. Johnny Gargano's wife. They've hinted that a few times on the programs, but she hasn't really done much either. She's had a couple of matches, one loss. I think she got fed to Bailey, if I remember correctly, which I don't know why. On the road to a Belair match. Feels like she's just another figure. I feel like 2023, a lot of these returns are going to mean more. I'm hoping so, but this is another meh. She had a couple of wins. She's kind of went to that goofball thing with Johnny Gargano too. Like Johnny's came up to a few times. Like, oh, this happened, blah blah blah. She's like, oh, you be careful, don't you get in trouble with Dexter. few times backstage too, which is a bit meh.
Yeah. Look, and it's funny they've got the same sort of background color to them, because to me, being someone who doesn't know a lot of these newer wrestlers very well, you could interchange Tegan Knox and Candice LeRae, and I wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
I'm like, they both left such like little impression on me that I'm like, you can tell which one's which, but I'm like, I couldn't tell you which one did which
That's what
stuff.
I feel in general of this Triple H era is you've brought all these NXT people in and you have not shown people why to care for them. If you're not an NXT fan, you're not going to know who they are and why to care for them. I think Triple H is flying too much of like, they're from NXT. A lot of people didn't watch NXT like you. A lot of other people, so they don't know why to care. You're not giving them a reason to care. I guess it's another B, maybe a C. It's up to you.
I think her looks better than Tegan Knox. That's the only reason I'm putting it. But I'll put her next to her husband. You see.
Okay, well I'll go with that. I didn't realize how. I thought it'd be fun, but what do you think about these returns being very lackluster? Kind of sad.
Yep. I know, right?
Well,
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, and I put all the more exciting ones at the top. So maybe that was on me too.
OC. Another bird of a bee. It's another meh. They came back to help AJ with Judgment Day. That wasn't. I liked the return where AJ was tricking Finn, going, "Oh, you're right. I need my friends. I'm gonna be with you," and gave him a hug. But I'm not talking about you as a friend. And the music hits and go into a big brawl. I thought the return was pretty fun.
Yeah.
They had a decent match at Crown Jewel, remember correctly. I kind of fell asleep, so I can't remember if they had a decent match or not. Had some decent matches. They had the whole Chad Gable and Otis treatment where they beat them. But even when you hear the commentators say they're on a losing streak and it's just a new team from a few months ago, you know it's not the best.
Yeah. I think their promo stuff's not bad. And of course I loved the whole bit where they got racked in the nuts by Rio and body slammed by Rio, and like there's a whole thing like where he's like cupping his bits, and I think a lot of that backstage sort of build up stuff's been quite good for them.
Yeah, we've got to go for the beers, you're a nerd, blah 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 type stuff.
Yeah, and I think they're sort of maybe were holding out a bit until this whole thing with New Japan had finished off, and of course now with AJ possibly being out for a while, and I don't know, they sort of like took their foot off the pedal of it a bit with the AJ Styles or OC Judgment Day stuff, which I think they needed to do because it was getting a bit long in the tooth. It's like, they're like, War Games, that'll be the end of it, and then you realize it wasn't the end of it, because they've got no idea what to do with them. So
as you said, I feel like the
man.
New Japan got in the way.
Yeah,
a little bit too, because he did say straight after that, it was a whole, damn, this is over. We're gonna go WWE, be the best tag team, blah blah blah, on the tweet.
Yeah,
we're gonna go after Usos, ATs, and stuff straight after New Japan. So I felt like New Japan was in the way.
Yeah,
Triple H didn't want to give him that crazy push why the thing was there for New Japan still. And I feel like they still have that, even though Triple H's era, they still have that. Not going to make some look super strong as someone else's company. So I think they're going to get pushed name. I think there might be the next person to have next team to have rivalry, maybe with the Usos. Not going to win, but they might look like a feud there coming into the WrestleMania season. Something from the fight and Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber, which I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
B. I guess.
I've
maybe a C.
No. They're better than Hit Row. Come on, don't tell me they're not better than Hit Row.
They're better than Hit Row for sure. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is definitely high up there. It should be S alone for the return, I feel. Bray Wyatt. I think it's
Yeah.
S just for return alone.
Yeah.
You had the QR codes and the White Rabbit stuff and all that kind of stuff. Really fun little puzzles and stuff. That I thought was really, really creative and cool. They have never done that before. And yeah, got told to come to this spot in SmackDown. There's going to be more teas there and more. You looked out in the crowd, looked out for the White Rabbits in the crowd and the little things. I thought was really cool. T-shirt, something's going to happen at Extreme Rules. We still weren't quite sure if the return's going to happen at Extreme Rules because of those QR codes. But it happened. And it was amazing because
Yeah.
it tricked you. It tricked you. The show ends. They put the trademark up. Boom, lights out. You see all the puppets come to life in the crowd. See the door and the light, and there's Bray. I popped crazy. I scared my poor little
Yeah.
son. It was in there. It was in there when I popped like crazy, yelling and nearly crying because I love Bray Wyatt. I was really upset he got fired in the first place. I was nearly crying, going pumped up, scared me. Sonny thought I was upset. The return alone is an S for me.
Yeah.
Me and Grim, we talked about this once on the podcast, but we both a little bit of different opinions on what he's done so far. I'm a little bit bored of the slow build. Been fun, but a little bit boring. Where Grim has already said that he feels like it's not bad.
Yeah. Because a lot of the time I'll watch Raw or SmackDown, and the things about those shows that I tend to like more are the stuff where they're at the back, and that's pretty much been what he's done. You know,
Yeah.
that promo stuff, that back and forth between different wrestlers and stuff. And that's the stuff that I enjoy, that story element of it. And I mean, he's good at it.
Oh yeah.
He does retread. Like, I don't know how many times we have to hear that, you know, sometimes he's a good person, but sometimes he does bad things. I'm like, we get it. Like, you know, and he's done bad things, but he's trying to be a good person. I'm like, week in, week out, he's saying the same thing. Hopefully now that they've got to the point where he's going to wrestle LA Knight, things might change up, and this will be the year where we get Bray Wyatt, the wrestler, back, since he really didn't wrestle last year. Of course, this being a Mountain Dew pitch black match is a little bit of a worry, like we were saying, but I'd say still S at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely an S.
Yeah.
Just return alone was amazing. Give Bray pops though, because he did make LA Knight amazing. It's made him a character you love. He's showed everybody who LA Knight is.
Yeah.
You didn't know LA Knight was much yourself.
Yeah, LA Knight's not in this list.
No, but like in Bray Wyatt, I feel like Bray. I think what I'm trying to get at is Bray Wyatt's return. He's made LA Knight a star.
Yeah. Because initially when he came back as LA Knight, you could see the promise there, but he didn't have someone to bounce off.
Mm-hmm.
So I think pairing with Bray Wyatt has sort of made that take off a fair bit, especially with the and then like Bray Wyatt like starts muttering yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's just perfect. You can see they sort of gel together a bit. It'd be interesting to hear, you know, after the fact, if they have anything to say about this time in their career and how they felt working with each other. Because it seems like they've sort of got it down.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how they go with the actual wrestling. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
So yeah, Bray Wyatt first S. Down to the last three. Mr. Braun Strowman, Toot loves the trains. Stealing that from the Great One. Shout out to the Great One there. He does it all the time on his channel. I've not liked this return at all. It hasn't been bad, but I don't like it. It's just because I don't like Braun. So I got a bit of a more of a my thoughts are coming more than probably the return itself being good or bad.
Yeah. Look, I don't mind Braun Strowman. I know he's got like a complicated history with the company, and he's a bloke who often says things that maybe he's not thought through. And particularly last year, that's what I liked when he sort of mouthed off on Twitter, and they sort of dragged that into the storyline. And I thought that was a good sort of way of going. I mean, not necessarily punishing him, but going like, you really should take heed to the crap you say online.
Yeah, it's basically
like,
you're gonna
look.
give shit to a high flyer, you're gonna make your team with one basically a little bit.
Yeah. And I think he's benefited from it because I said yesterday, I kind of like my wrestling like a little bit goofy. The Dexter Lumis thing got a little bit too goofy and a little bit too drawn out, but and I didn't even watch the match, but the bit with the mistletoe, and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like seeing him in more of that role.
It helps.
Where he's not like, where he's not sort of like this menacing, because he is, but it's funny if he's a little bit goofy. So I probably rate Braun a bit higher than JJ, but I'll let JJ say where he thinks he should go.
Probably let Grim take the lead on this one because I just don't like him. So my not liking is probably going to take over more than him being decent. The return itself was pretty. I didn't like the return. That's not Braun's fault. I feel like it wasn't done properly. Him just coming out and wrecking a tag team match for no reason. Why?
Yeah,
I felt the return itself wasn't. That's not just because of Braun. If someone else did that, I wouldn't be very happy about it either. But he just comes out, wrecks this number one contendership match.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of that return?
And I guess that was because they didn't really have a clear winner in that match, and they're like, well, we've got Braun coming back. Let's have him smash that up. And you're like, why do the match at all if you don't want a winner? So
that's it. Bit of a messy return. Yeah. Maybe an A because it hasn't been too bad. I think it's higher than a B. He's had some fun with New Day as well.
Yeah.
When he did some dance and goofy stuff with the New Day, I kind of like that too.
Yeah. All right, I can live with that. I can live with that.
Definitely not an S, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely not.
Final two, which I think is the best, both S's in my opinion. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back after 17 years.
What?
I love it. They teased it for so long. KO calling him out, saying, "Oh, come to my talk show, come to my talk show." And the rumors were around saying it could be a match, but they didn't want to make it official match. It was just on the talk show. And he comes out with the talk show, doing his Stone Cold stuff, even though he wasn't allowed to. Calling him an asshole and all that kind of stuff when he wasn't supposed to. But Stone Cold doesn't give a fuck, does he? Apparently got in big trouble with Vince. Just don't give a fuck what you think. Then it turns to a match, and it was a good match. Like 17 years later, he's taking bumps on the concrete, suplex on the outside, everything like that. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's not much to really say because I did one match, but that one match alone, I feel like is an S tier.
Yeah. Look, and that props to Kevin Owen for the build to that, and then there's a lot of social media stuff. There's that bit where he had the bald cap on.
Yeah,
the bit about the stunner, the bit about hating Texas. I'm like, they just built that so well.
Pretty sure that's how it all started, right? He kept saying he hates Texas.
Yeah. And then of course the stuff with Seth Rollins, where like he, was trying to get a match at WrestleMania, which will lead into what we do next, obviously, but sort of have him try and take over that spot. And I was like, it's just fun to watch. And you're like, eventually we got a payoff, and the payoff was like a good payoff. Like they managed to carry a reasonably good match. And the pop for it was crazy. It's always going to be crazy when Stone Cold comes out. So, yeah, undoubtedly S. The debate now is which side of Bray Wyatt.
Probably second to Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt's done a lot more.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, it was a WrestleMania return. We all know, like, Stone Cold's done with being a wrestler. He's not like some of the other wrestlers who, if they got a contract that paid enough, they'd, come back and do it for a reasonable amount of time. Like Kurt Angle has said, if they gave him a certain amount of money, he'd come back and do stuff. I don't think Stone Cold's necessarily interested in doing that.
He's got a contract for the whole podcast stuff and everything. He's got a Legends contract.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's a good spot. And you're right. Like, and there's rumors about him doing another one. We'll see.
He did his workout videos and stuff, and everyone was thinking it was that, but he shut it down. But
yeah,
a lot of wrestlers shut stuff down and lied and make it a surprise. We've seen it a few times, so who knows? Yeah, we're up to the final one.
Yep.
Mr. Cody Rhodes, which was a crazy ride. This one was a lot of speculation as well. He left AEW. Everyone was always shocked because he was an EVP. He was one of the founders of AEW, and I was like, no, he's not going to come to WWE, is he? And if you don't have to be an AEW fan to have heard what he did in AEW, a lot of trash talking about WWE and smashing a throne like Triple H, the sledgehammer, using sledgehammers and stuff. He did a lot of bagging of WWE in AEW. So like the speculation and rumors kept popping up. Then it finally happened. Amazing debut with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. They did the whole return amazingly. Let him be the Cody that we all got to love in AEW in the indie scene. Then change him back to the old Cody Rhodes. Come out from the floor, the music hit and everything like that. An amazing Cody Rhodes match. I love the return, man.
Yeah. American Nightmare. Yeah.
Like, you had to keep him like that. And a lot of people are scared that he was going to go back to the smoke and mirrors Cody Rhodes, but they didn't.
Yeah. Look, and the time I was watching WWE, like, Cody was there, but he was kind of small time. They had him with they'd brought in Randy Orton and they'd brought in Ted DiBiase. And to me, it didn't feel like Cody or Ted had any chance. Like, it was going to be Randy who was going to make it big, and the other two were going to fall to the wayside. And for a while, I think that was true, but him going away and being a part of what made AEW what it is and building that up to come back, like, and to, I don't really know much about Cody Rhodes, but I know when I watched it, it felt amazing. Like, I know I popped too. And even watching it back, you're like, just the way that was put together is just amazing. And that match that they had, and every match he had after that, just showed that, at a point in time when he is back, he could be the one carrying the company the way most people would argue Roman Reigns is carrying it at the moment. I think he could be the face of WWE quite easily. I think he's got the chops for it, and I'd be interested in seeing it.
Yeah, for sure. And like the matches after it and the promos of saying, I want to do this for my father. He pretty much went behind the scenes and saying technically it was the WWE champion, but they didn't acknowledge it, which I thought Vince letting him say that was crazy. But he let him say it, and he's like, "I want to do this for my father. I can't put this belt in his hands, but I was going to go into my American Nightmare's hands." We're amazing. The promos back and forth with Cody and that meeting with Seth was amazing. I remember one with Miz where he was saying some wrestling stuff, and Miz was so straight, you can't say that. He's like, "Oops."
Yeah, it's like, well, I just did. You know,
Which I love.
superstars. He's like, no, wrestlers, mate.
Exactly. Like, you can't say that here. Like,
Yeah.
I just did. And I love that kind of stuff too. You're seeing that maybe Vince and all that maybe want to change him, but he wasn't going to let him. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, you had a match with Theory, which is really good, even though Seth wrecked it. You had a reunion with Randy Orton and Riddle, which is a really fun little match. Like, people forget you did. A lot of people just remember the Seth Rollins matches, the 3 pay-per-views, but he did some good stuff in Raw as well.
Yeah. And look, it's pretty obvious from what we've both been saying that that's where he was going to go. And I thought, well, why hold off? Everyone who's watching this now and will watch later will be able to tell where we're going to put him quite early on.
Easy.
We started talking about him. Easily, you know, if this tier list had like gaps, there'd be a huge gap between him and Bray. Even though he was there for a short time, the impact he made in that period of time, the matches he had, the promos, the atmosphere, it was just bang on. Absolutely. It would have been interesting to see what he would have done the rest of the year if he hadn't been injured, but we've got something to look forward to when he's back. And
A lot of
I can
rumors,
tell
like
he's keen.
there's
Yeah.
rumors it was meant to be Money in the Bank,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. It was meant to be a successful cash in as well. I don't know. Apparently, it was meant to be champion that year, of some sort, and all that kind of stuff. He's going to have a really big year, which is really cool. But as you said, he got injured in about July. As you said, everyone feels like he's the next guy to take over. In that short amount of time, he proved to everybody, like, I'm the guy to be next champion and be the face. And you can't deny that. Like, he'd do that in the, 3 months he was there?
Yeah.
But that's it. That's our tier list. I thought it'd be more, honestly, it'd be more fun than that, but I forgot how meh some of these returns were.
Yeah.
Like, it's made it worse. I can't win with this fucking cam.
Yeah.
That's a bit better. Go from there. But yeah, that's our tier list. I feel like Triple H relied more on people knowing what NXT was, and some of them were very mid-tier, and it didn't tell people why to like these people, which really sucked. I don't think
Yeah.
Triple H handled a lot of these returns very well.
I think a lot of the problem, particularly with the women here, is that division is struggling a bit. Obviously, part of that's with Ronda being the champion. You've got Rhea with the Judgment Day; she's doing her thing there. So, and Bianca Belair, and then Becky Lynch. Like even Becky Lynch at the moment feels a little bit lost, and I think that's more the structure and the stories that they built around the women. It doesn't feel cohesive, and as I said earlier, I'm hopeful that come the Royal Rumble, they might be able to fix some of that. But I don't think it's any of these women's fault that they're where they're at. I think it's just a structural thing within SmackDown and Raw, because what little I know about NXT, there's not a problem there.
No, it's
and possibly one of the better examples of women in wrestling, because I've heard AEW has similar issues. So it's not a new thing. It's just, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what 2023 brings for women in WWE. On the main roster.
Because like the rumors were Triple H brought all these females in to help the roster, but none of these females is brought back or done anything of notice to help the roster anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a
Like,
storyline problem and not a individual wrestler problem. I think all
for
these
sure.
women have the potential to be something big once they've reshuffled and constructed in a way that feels genuine. It makes sense.
For sure. And I feel like the women are let down too because you can have multiple males storylines about titles and stuff, but they don't do that for females, which I think is very sad too. I think they should, even if it's only on Raw or SmackDown, have some more feuds for the females. You don't need a belt.
Mhm.
They do it for the males like I do it with females. Which sucks a bit. But yeah. But even with the males, Dexter, Johnny, I can't really pick on Reed too much, but all them guys haven't been doing the best either because of Triple H not really giving that push and showing people how good they really are, which is really sad.
Yeah, and I think a part of the other problem they're having is that the Bloodline storyline's the best thing they've got going. And oftentimes the other wrestlers that are quite good in those roles are in that storyline too. So,
Yeah,
Seth Rollins isn't currently. He's in his thing with Theory, and I think that's one of the stronger elements. The Judgment Day sort of found their feet a bit, but outside of those two things, not
for
really.
sure.
And now Kevin Owens is part of this Bloodline thing, and I think for me, he's one of the stronger story elements. So of course he's going to be wrapped up in that for a while and not going to be a part of any emerging storylines until that's done.
Definitely got me interested in 2023. I feel with some of these returns, and I hope Triple H calms down with these returns because he needs to figure out what the hell he's doing with these ones before he gets any more in. But there's rumors of more people coming back, sadly.
Yeah. I feel like possibly a concentration on bringing up those that are showing promise in NXT and not in a like, oh, surprise, it's such and such, but like, building that story. Maybe having
packages.
having them sort of appear on SmackDown or Raw and sort of make their presence known before sort of pushing them into the main roster scene. Is the way to go.
Yeah, that's it. 2023 should be because there's a lot of apparently. What should I say? As I've said, but apparently there's a lot of NXT stars like Bron Breakker and Grayson Waller, Cameron Grimes, and all that are ready to come up. So I feel like they've got the next generation in NXT to bring up instead of returns in 2023, as you said.
Yep.
Yeah, that's our tier list. I think it's time to end it. It was fun. Still, I feel like some of them are still good. It's just some of them really bad. And Ronda was a bad one. What are you going to do about that one? But yeah. You want to sign off?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie in the bathroom.
There you go. Things you didn't know you didn't need to know.
Exactly. So see you guys. Be back for the podcast. No more tier lists for this week. Catch you guys later.
Catches.